This is a educational, a very informative educational webinar that the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is doing nationwide in order to inform everyone who's eligible to vote how to access the system. So I'm going to turn this over to our committee chair, Cassie Eanes Brown, who will start the presentation for us.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started with share our story of voting or why we vote, and we encourage everyone to participate if they would like. And so I'm going to open it up to whoever wants to start to share their story.
Is this just for the panel or is this for the guest?
All of us.
Oh, all of us, okay. Well, I vote so that because one, it is a right, a privilege that we have in this country. Two, it allows my voice to be heard through whatever candidates or legislation or whatever it is I'm voting for to support. And the third one is that we have always had the right to vote. A lot of people don't really realize that in our history. We've always had the right to vote from the very beginning. But what did not happen was the right to exercise that vote. And that's what a lot of people in the very beginning died for when we separated from England and all the other countries, separated from Europe, was for you to have that voice. But the second piece is that when that right was taken away or was being stifled, a lot of people died in order to make sure that you would not have that privilege taken away from you. And so to not vote, to not exercise that right, to me, is a disrespectful thing to do. It's disrespecting the people who have gone before us. So those are the three reasons that I vote and that I encourage my sons to vote.
Anyone else like to share?
I can go. Similar to Regina, one, I think it is disrespectful for, in particular, Black folks who literally died for this right and this privilege to vote. And so I feel I have a responsibility to carry that forward and vote. And I vote on all levels because I think that change happens on the local level, impacts what happens on the state level and then the national level. And I think that voting is incredibly important. And I want to remain apolitical, but whoever wins in this next election has the potential to be voting in a new Supreme Court justice, and that person has the potential to change our judicial system for the foreseeable 50 to 60 years, and that is very important to me. So in particular, that's why I'm voting in the November 3rd election. November 2nd. November election.
November 3rd, yeah.
I know what day that
November 3rd.
I will go. I will share a voting story and my why. My first memory of voting was not myself voting, but going with my parents to the polls to vote at my local elementary school. Voting was always very important to them. They voted on all levels as well. My next memory is going with them again voting, but as a first-time voter. And I remember feeling grown up and I'm getting to vote, but I don't think I really grasped the magnitude of it all until I was older, which brings me to my why. I vote because people who look like me fought for that right. They were beaten, they were bled, they died. And I feel like it's my duty, my honor, my privilege, my right to do so. And I vote. And I strongly encourage everyone to exercise their right to vote.
I'll go next. I'm Tiana Jones, and I also reiterate everything that was said so far as voting goes. I believe we have the right to, you know, now that we have the right to vote, we should vote. You always hear people say, but I wasn't heard, my voice wasn't heard. So I believe you should get out and vote and allow your vote to be your voice, because not getting out to vote is actually just being silent. So you really can't complain when things don't happen on your behalf.
I agree. I have, like Cassie, I remember I was the youngest for a long time by myself, and my grandmother worked at the polls, and so I would go with her on election day, and thought it was the most boring thing because I didn't grasp the concept of it until one day while I was there with her. I was a reader, and I was reading about the Voting Rights Act. And it struck me that, like Regina said, we've always had the right, but there were so many things that kept us from it. And I began to understand the magnitude of what these people were doing, and they were walking in freely to do, that the people I was reading about couldn't. And so when I became a mom, as I got older, I voted in every election that I could. And then when I had my son, I made sure he went with me, and so that he could understand the importance of it. And once he was able to vote, I made sure, and I still do to this day, before he went back to school, I made sure, with COVID going on, that he filled out everything that he needed to so that he could do a mail-in ballot, just to make sure he didn't have to worry about getting back here or figuring out what happens at school and all of that. So I wholeheartedly agree with everything that was said.
I think voting is important because, like everyone else has already said, the people that came before us, when they would try to go vote, they were always denied. And I remember the first time I got to register to vote, and my birthday is in October, and then the election is in November. So I got to like register to vote like on my 18th birthday, which was like pretty cool, because I know a lot of people, you have to wait until you're 18 to vote, or like close to it. And I know John Lewis, the Voting Rights Act needs to be named after him, because he pushed voting as part of his platform.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing stories and why we vote. Precious, if you can move to the next slide. So if we had a lot of people on, we were going to do fun facts, but I believe, Precious, is it just still us?
We have one person, Brittany, who has joined us.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do some fun facts then. If just tell one fun fact about yourself. Again, everyone can participate who feels comfortable in doing so, and then we'll get the ball rolling. I'll start. My fun fact is I was born, and I use this all the time, so many of you already know it. I was born in Bitburg, Germany. My dad was in the Air Force, and out of the 3 kids, I was the only one born overseas. Anyone else?
I can go. I have been on 15 cruises.
Oh my gosh.
This year is the first time I haven't cruised in 12 years because of COVID.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, I'll do one. I think of all the things that I've traveled and done, I think the most relaxing place I've ever been and enjoyed the most was my trip to the Bahamas.
Ooh.
Nice.
While we're on traveling, I have almost all 50 states of magnets on my refrigerator.
Oh,
Ooh, I
wow.
collect state magnets too. Yay!
I collect those. Those in shot glasses, even though they're in a case. I don't use them, but I think they look pretty.
Nice.
Oh,
You're quite the traveler.
Yes.
I don't know. Fun facts are always hard for me. I guess a fun fact is I'm currently working on a discussion series called Uncomfortable.
Interesting.
Yes, it is about discussing essentially uncomfortable topics that are going on today. So it's going
okay.
very well.
That's
Nice.
interesting.
Nice.
I don't know if I have a fun fact. Wow.
Tara, I don't believe that. Tara,
I
not
know.
at all. Not at all, Tara. I don't believe it, Tara.
I really don't think I have any fun facts.
Me neither.
Or don't you have something about trucks? Like you've only owned trucks, or?
What about your crafts that you like to do?
I have not done any crafts in quite some time. I'm ashamed to say.
Oh,
I am ashamed to say. I have not. That's pretty bad. Actually, no. I like to learn, which is really sad. So my favorite, my favorite form of self-care is learning. So I am currently taking a class for my doctorate and a movement trauma certification at the
wow.
same time. So that's a fun fact.
That is a
It's fun to
fact.
me.
Right.
I would have to say a fun fact for me. I've been decorating cakes on and off since 2008.
Okay.
Oh wow.
We
I've
love
always
that.
wanted to do that.
Oh
Decorate
yeah,
cakes.
because when I first started out, I didn't know what I was doing. So I finally had I was able to like train myself, and then I had one of my coworkers help me. So, and then the more I practiced with it, the better I got.
Nice. So that's good to know, right? We
Yeah.
can order cakes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know she was self-taught. Get out of here.
Right.
yeah. And then I've won a couple of local competitions here in Topeka.
Nice.
Wow.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
the Kansas Chocolate Festival that's been here since 2016.
Mhm.
2017 I won second place. 2018 I won first and second place.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. And then 2 years ago I did a Taste of the Holidays competition and I won first place for that.
Okay.
Nice. Holding out secrets. Look at you.
Right.
Let me write these down.
Right?
Hey,
Right?
everything I put everything on Facebook.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
For some of us who don't do Facebook, I guess I better get on it.
I'm just like, I put everything on Facebook. I do.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the Kansas Chocolate Festival, they canceled it this year because of COVID. So I'm like, okay. I understand.
You could have made it and shipped it to us. We would have spent the shipping fee.
Well, cause like,
That's right, Diana.
I pretty much figured out what I wanted to make. I was like, I still might go ahead and make it anyways, because it would have been the first Saturday in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Good to know. Noted. Noted. Awesome. Can we circle back? Brittany, I don't see a picture. This is Brittany Irving.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hello, Soren from Omega Theta.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Hello.
Thanks for jumping on.
No
Awesome.
problem.
Awesome. Good. Anyone else on? We can't see everyone, or I can't see everyone. Anyone else want to participate before we move on?
I think everyone went.
Okay. So while we're here, I'll turn it over to Precious.
All right, so today is National Voter Registration Day, and so we're here to ensure that folks are registered to vote. That's crucial, so that you can vote in your elections. And so we've got this website, which I'm hoping works. Can you all see that screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. And so when we all vote, this is how, if you're not registered, I'd strongly encourage you to hop on and do this now. I'm already registered, but I can walk you through sort of the first steps. You put whatever email you want information to, and they will send you information because when I did a practice run now, I keep getting emails. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
registered. And you put in the zip code where you want to vote at, and it needs to be the address that's on your license. So you can't say you want to vote in Missouri just because you want to. It has to be the one that matches your ID. And then you'd walk through your.
Excuse me, Precious, I only see the slide.
Me too. But if everyone else can see it, but I only see the slide
Other
as well.
folks see the.
Can you see others see the website?
Mm-mm.
I only see the slide.
Sorry, y'all. All right, do you see
There
that
you
one?
go.
Yes.
Yes.
So on the first one, I put in my email and my zip code, and then it would take you to the screen where you put in your contact information, indicating that you're a U.S. citizen, your home address, your date of birth, your phone number, and you can select if you want text messages from Rock the Vote or When We All Vote, which are just helpful messages about, or if you want emails from either of them, which are helpful messages to remind you of elections that are coming up or important information about how to vote. Where to vote, what a ballot might look like. They keep you informed, and they're all apolitical, so it doesn't send you spam from like either party, from any of the parties. It just sends you neutral information about the best ways to vote and make sure that you're an informed voter. So if you're not registered to vote, I would encourage you to go and do that. Now I'm gonna hopefully hop back into this PowerPoint. You see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay, we're going to
Cassie.
move into resources, and Tiana is going to talk about transportation to the polls.
Hello again. My name is Tiana, and so I'm going to bring to you information about transportation. If you don't have a ride to the polls, here are some resources available to get to your polling station. If you are located in Lawrence, the Lawrence Transit will be offering free rides to the polls on November 3rd. If you are located in the Topeka area, Topeka Metro and the Senior Center East Topeka will also be offering free rides to your polling station. If you don't want to use the public transportation as far as the bus or anything, the Lyft users in your app, you can use code 2020 VOTE to get up to 50% off your ride up to $10 to any polling station in your area. Those living in underserved communities will get free ride codes thanks to Lift Up's nonprofit partnerships with partners like Black Women's Roundtable, National Federation for the Blind, and the Student Veterans of America. You must visit those partner locations in order to get your free ride code. Disabled riders will also have access to free ride credits thanks to the partnership between Lyft and the National Disability Rights Network. So please reach out to those partners in your area if you'd like to get free ride codes to your polling stations to use Lyft on November 3rd. Uber has not issued their election information, their ride election information at this time. It will be available sometime in October. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Cassie to talk about disabilities and accessibilities at your poll locations.
Thank you, Diana. So voting accommodations. So it's really important to know about the accommodations at the polling sites should you need assistance. in Topeka at the polls. They will have 2 poll workers there to assist you from both parties. So wouldn't be any concerns about that there. In Lawrence, you have a couple options. You can either bring a family member or a friend with you to help. They also have machines with headphones available that will speak the ballot. You make your selections, and then it will print out your ballot with your choices on it. They also have poll workers there as well to assist. There'll be 2, same with the Topeka, that there'll be 2 poll workers assisting the voter. They are, and that is a requirement, they're not allowed to try to influence you in any way, but just to be a support and assist you as needed. So again, if you have any questions or concerns about accommodations, the poll workers are there to assist you. I'm going to turn it over to Cassandra to talk about where to vote and early voting.
Okay, so to find out where your voting location is, you would have to go to myvoteinfo.votekansas.org, and you can type in your address, which is under polling place search.
Sorry, y'all.
And it'll say view locations, and then it'll give you your polling location. And then if you click on the link, it'll show you how to get there if you're not sure where it is.
And it's hard to see, but mine's literally a 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
A block away from me, so.
Yeah. And then also, if you decide to vote early and in person, the Shawnee County election office for early voting begins October 19th, and it ends on Friday, October 30th. And then, let's see, and make sure you wear a mask when you go early voting. And then now I will turn it over to
Cassie.
Cassie. Yes.
All right, so we're going to look at a sample ballot on ballotpedia.com. You use over to the left-hand side corner up top, you select what's on your ballot. Again, put in your address. View my ballot. Select the November 3rd election. And then who is on the ballot would pop up in all the races. So it starts off with the U.S. Senate, the presidential race, and on down. They have little pictures of those who are on the ballot. If you want to select one of those, it would pop up a bio and information about that, the person who is on the ballot, on the ticket. And so you can read over their information, as we all want to be informed voters. So it gives you a little snippet on that. So it's pretty simple, very quick, and easy to access.
Is this a real-time ballot? Is this the most
Yes.
up-to-date? Okay.
That is my understanding, yeah.
Perfect, thank
And
you.
we chose that one because the other ones, just different sites you can look at, it had everyone on it that is on there, so yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Sure. So we are going to go ahead and turn it over to Tara to give us, well, first, are there any questions? I kind of skipped over that.
Well, I have to get off, but I just want to say, it's not a question, but I just want to say something too when we're talking about voting and being involved in and having a voice in your community and the different facets that are all involved with that, is that also, you know, it's a good learning experience if you work the work as an election poll worker. Um, like Tara, I've always thought it was probably the most boringest thing that you could possibly do. But my mother and all of her buddies, they worked the poll center for years. I'm going to say probably like 30 years. They did that. And even though they got paid a little small stipend for it, I mean, it's not much money to shake a stick at. But when you ask them, you know, because I used to ask, why do you do this? Because they get up, I mean, they got to be there at 6:30 in the morning. She was there till like 8 o'clock at night. And I was just like, wow. But one, she talked about it being your civic duty, which is something that way back when, when they used to teach civics, they taught that as a part of being your civics duty. But the other piece is that it also helps you to really understand the voting election system and process in this country. And watching her do that and listening to her talk about that really gave me a whole totally different insight about our election process. You know, before I used to think just about you vote for a president and then that's it. And a lot of people do that. They come and vote for a presidential election. But I think it was Precious who said this also, is that we need to be voting at all elections, because what happens on your local level is just as important as what happens on your national level. And they really do all in some capacity at some point in time throughout the years, they integrate into one another. So I think it's important as we're educating people and encouraging them to register to vote, that we also are trying to do something that's been left out of our education system, which is to educate people about the whole process, the whole system, and why we need to do this, and that it is a privilege for us, regardless of what color you are, what race you belong to, or ethnic group, and all those different things. But I'm going to get off because I see my little thing telling me get on the next call.
That's all. But thank you, Regina,
Okay.
for jumping on and
you.
participating. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it.
Well, thank you. The committee did an excellent job with this, and I hope we have more for October 6th.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
So I won't linger either. You guys did a great job. This is very informative. I actually asked about that because I am going to be participating in an event with the League of Women Voters doing a candidate forum that's going to be interviewing all of the candidates that you guys just scrolled through, and we were looking for the most current list and we could not figure out where to find one, and you guys just showed me where to find it. So that's why, as Regina said, knowing this information and knowing where to look for it is important. I can't stress enough the importance of this election on so many levels, local, in our county election races, all the way up to the President of the United States. It's critical that we all think about where we are right now, the importance of how this whole system functions, and the decisions that are being made from the individuals that are controlling our local government, the way things function in our cities, the way things function on county levels, all the way up to our federal government. Is critically important that we all exercise the rights to have our voices known. People have been texting about the next Supreme Court justice. That's critically important that we recognize that we have the right to say something about what happens. It's critically important that we exercise that right to fulfill our civic duty. This is our country. We have to say something about what's going on. So I greatly appreciate this, and I'm looking forward to part 2. Now that we've experienced this, I'm looking forward to seeing more people participate, because you guys shared some really great information, and I know that people are going to want to see this, because there's information that I didn't know that you guys just shared. So you guys did a great job. A really, really good job. This is great. This is perfect. And I am going to be sharing this. So like I said, great job. And that's all I have.
All right. Well,
Perfect
thank
way.
you.
Perfect
Thank
way
you.
to end the day.
Thank you, Tara. Appreciate it. What we have up next is our next event will be October 6th. We'll be doing the same thing. We also are doing social media blasts on When We All Vote Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that as well. So yeah, we'd love to have more people, jump on October 6th and look out for us on social media.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Brittany, thank you for getting on as well. Do you have anything? I don't want to leave you out. Do you want to say anything or have any thoughts?
My thought was, I think that this was a very important event. Definitely just from speaking to a lot of the Black students on campus, with everything that's currently going on in this nation, I think that it's important that we as Black people still understand that our vote is important, because I know from a lot of the students, well, from a few of the students on campus, they're just like, why? Like, I just want to give up. There's no point in voting because it's not going to change anything. We vote all the time, but we still end up at the bottom. So I definitely think that it is important to continue to spread the information about voting, because yeah, we may think that it's bad right now, but imagine how bad it's going to be if we don't vote and if we don't care and we stop fighting. So I think that's very important that we continue to talking about voting and make sure that the Black community gets out there and votes.
Don't allow your vote to be stolen.
Oh, yes.
Right.
By not voting.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. 100% agree.
Great job, ladies.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Source.
everyone.
Appreciate it.
Great job.
Have a good evening.
Yes.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.